Well, you couldn't turn on the TV today without hearing about another really scary terror story. Several men arrested for allegedly plotting to bomb the Sears Tower in Chicago. Ironically, this was taking place on the very same day the country's big terror chief was with the cast of the TV show 24 talking about terror at a Heritage Foundation event in Washington. Showbiz Tonight is here to tell you that if you think all this terror stuff on TV can get on people's nerves, you could be right.
The FBI is conducting an operation against men they believe are part of a homegrown terror group. So far,
terrorism on television in all too real fashion. Cable news shows buzzing about the arrest of alleged terrorist wannabes accused of plotting to blow up Chicago's Sears Tower and other targets.
These individuals wish to wage a quote, full-ground war against the United States.
High-tech surveillance, major terrorist plots, all ending like a TV show. Caught just in the nick of time. You could say the day's TV coverage sounded a lot like a high-action TV drama, and you'd be right. It was all reminiscent of an episode of the hit Fox drama 24, where a team of federal agents led by Jack Bauer race against time to stop one deadly terrorist plot after another.
There's a nuclear warhead missing. This is our only lead.
And in one of those weird life meets art coincidences, as the world was talking about the latest battle in the war on terror, America's real-life Homeland Security Chief, Michael Chertoff, was talking about the TV show 24.
Things do not get resolved in 24 hours.
Showbiz Tonight was right there as Chertoff, the creators, and some of the actors from 24 gathered in Washington, D.C. to talk about the war on terrorism, how it affects 24, and vice versa. Chertoff reminded the audience that the terror arrests in Miami, as well as the arrests weeks earlier of an alleged terror cell in Canada, remind us that terror is for real.
The issue of terrorism is a national problem.
All our show is an exaggerated sort of expression of that stuff that I think the policymakers in this country have to face every day, but in a obviously a less intense way.
It was less than a month after the September 11th attacks of 2001 that 24 first went on the air. The show continues to draw its plots from the war on terrorism.
You're talking about torturing this man?
I'm talking about doing what is necessary to stop this warhead from being used against us.
24's hero, Jack Bauer, often tortures subjects to get information to prevent terror attacks.
Where is it?
I don't know!
An end justifies the means debate we've heard in the Abu Ghraib scandal in Iraq.
I think 24 does a great job of trying to balance the moral and ethical dilemmas of how to wage the war on terror. How do we maintain our dignity and what we stand for as Americans when we're fighting an enemy that's fighting us with no rules?
Was Air Force One just hit?
But there's the question, do shows like 24 make us too paranoid about terrorism? Showbiz Tonight took to the streets of New York to find out.
I don't think it's affected me much. You know, it's a show.
A little scared that stuff like that could happen. Like bombs and shootings.
7 terror suspects are going to appear in court today.
But with 24-hour coverage of news stories like the recent terror arrests, some national security experts feel it's the news media and not 24 that fans the flames of terror fears.
We do have a popular media that, in a sense, looks on 24 with envious eyes. I mean, they want their numbers. We have a vision of reality that we do get through news, which is in some senses more distorted than the reality that we get through watching drama on television.
But Showbiz Tonight can also tell you that no matter how much 24 reminds us of the real world, it is still just a TV show. Nothing to get too scared of. In fact, some say that 24 actually carries an optimistic message.
It reinvigorates my faith that we are going to succeed in the war on terror.
That's the point, says the show's creators.
Absolutely, it's what we wish. There is a wish fulfillment fantasy. The terrorists are the bad guys and we're the good guys.
And in these troubled and sometimes dangerous times, maybe a little fantasy fulfillment can go a long way.
Too bad there wasn't like tons of Jack Bauers.